it's about. 8:36, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Time for the gang of four amigos. Ken is doing such a great job today. Let's make Ken amigo number one.
Good morning, boys. Yeah.
Johnny has been having to put up with my neuroses all morning long, so you'll be number two, Johnny.
I'm always in number two, and like to say happy birthday tomorrow to a great Patriot, Mr. Trace Atkins.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
All right.
And Chris Hand is here. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How are you?
By the way, we missed, guys. Did you guys know that yesterday was a national holiday? Did anybody know that yesterday was a national holiday and we completely missed it?
What was the holiday?
It was Pamela Fur Day across America because it was her birthday yesterday and we totally shanked it.
Oh, well, happy birthday, Sister Pamela Fur.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Pamela.
birthday to Pam. We totally missed it. So there you go. I felt bad about that. Because, so many people wish me a happy birthday on the day after Christmas. Moving right along.
Happy birthday, Dan.
That phrase actually has a funny history on this show. We'll just move on.
Well, Monday is apparently everybody's birthday to Dan.
Yes, that's exactly right. We had a bit of fun earlier in the 5:35 version of the Gang of Three Amigos because I called out Murphy's show because he tweeted out a very bizarre photo.
It was disturbing.
Of me. Well, it's going to get even weirder. So it was a photo of a red leather-clad, long-haired, blonde bombshell on a motorcycle with my face photoshopped onto it.
Nightmare fuel.
Nightmare fuel. So I wake up to this, and I'm very inactive on Twitter. So when I wake up and I go to my Twitter and I've got like 17 notifications, first thing I think of is, oh crap, what have I done? Because I never get that much traction on Twitter because I don't really care about Twitter. The first thing I see in the morning is that photo. And if you haven't seen it, I actually tweeted it out. It's at Dan Manda Show. So I'm like, we talked about it at 5:35, how utterly bizarre it was. So you can see it on either my Twitter feed or Matt Murphy's. So I sort of funningly called out Murphy.
Well, yeah, we thought he was maybe he was drinking, celebrating that. That Nick Saban has retired.
It's like and I think one of my comments was, "Who does this?" You know who did it? My wife.
What?
Amy put that together.
Really?
Your own wife. And didn't tell you.
No. She's like, so we're all going back and forth.
Oh.
And then, and I'm, mocking Murphy. And it was my wife. And she says, didn't you look at my Facebook page? I'm like, no, honey, I didn't look at your Facebook page at 1:00 in the morning when I'm just waking up and I'm running late.
First thing I do, huh?
So I guess what Matt did was Matt must have, like copied or whatever, saved it, and then just sent it along on his social media. But it is a weird picture. Yeah. It is just a weird picture.
I'm more alarmed that Amy did that to you.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, you know what? She and I are going to have a talk a little bit later on. Because I'm not... Yeah, Matt. So Matt, of course, sends me a text message. You finally figured it out. Haha. Yeah, I did. I finally figured it out. It is my own wife that did that. I don't even know where she got that picture, but it's just very, very strange.
Well, it looks like it's an AI thing that's done on Facebook.
Oh.
And because I was going to try to put the picture on my phone, and unfortunately, when I tried to go to the picture, all of a sudden I was in the game, and I went, I don't want to do this.
No.
You're gonna set it as the picture when Dan calls.
No, but I bet you Matt will, and maybe Amy.
It's one of those things you can't unsee.
No, it really isn't.
That's exactly. It was actually very funny. I wasn't complaining when I thought that it was Matt. But it was very funny. Somebody says I'm a Debbie Downer. 7854 says I'm a Debbie Downer. Now, I prefer a Danny Downer, and I've said that before, but I don't know why I'm a Debbie Downer.
I like that.
Debbie Downer.
Yes. Anyway, Chris, you have anything for this?
I do. Did you know that there's a new legend of aviation?
No, I didn't. Who
There
is it?
is. Well, among some very big legends of aviation,
Yes.
we've had Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and now Prince Harry is going to be named a legend of aviation.
How is that possible? Prince Harry, he flew. And now, listen, I'm not disparaging Prince Harry as a military guy. He flew helicopters, I think,
Yeah,
right?
once or twice.
But really? Like, he's right up there with Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong and Steve Majors.
Legend.
You guys get the Steve Majors part?
It went way over my head.
Of course it did, because you're like a pup.
Steve Majors.
Steve Majors, he was breaking the sound barrier. You guys remember this?
Oh, yeah.
He was breaking the sound barrier.
Okay.
Just a world-renowned pilot.
I didn't know if this was some old TV show reference or something
Shut
like
up.
that.
You're going to blow the bit. And so, what? Moving on. A $6 million man.
Oh, okay. Wasn't that Steve Austin?
Was it Steve Austin?
Yeah, I
Or was it
think
Steve
so.
Majors. Well, who's Steve Majors?
And Lee Majors was the actor.
Lee Majors.
You blew the bit. You blew your own bit.
So
How do you say Steve Majors?
remember when I said I should never try to tell jokes? This is exactly why. And the entire
Steve
audience,
Majors there.
the entire audience is like, he's blowing this. And all the people that are still listening. And you know what it's like? It's like all the W Channel listeners are probably thinking, who's going to tell them? Who's going to tell
Steve
them?
Majors.
I bet you guys are pretty impressed that I knew that Steve Austin was the $6 billion
Yeah, that was
man.
pretty good. I was
Stone
impressed.
Cold Steve Austin.
That's why you go, Brother Chris.
When the
So-
glass would shatter. You knew he was coming.
Man, I suck. Anyway, you know what we ought to do?
Oh, Steve Majors.
You know what we ought to do? Next week, what
I
we're
flew
going to
with
do,
him, by the way.
we're going to get sound effect. We should do sound. Will Chris know the sound effect? And we'll grab sound effects from like the 80s that like everybody knows and see if Chris knows them.
Okay.
I think that'd be pretty dumb. I mean, funny. So why do they justify Prince Harry being one of the greatest aviators of all time?
It's because of his military career. It's because of his military career. He's a legend. That's all I got.
He's a legend in his
People
own
are asking
right.
what legendary stuff he's done, and nobody has any answers.
Really? Okay.
No one.
Who is designating him this anyway? Like, is it some sort of a? Because that's the thing. First of all, I think we're all over the royal family and these two numbskulls, because that's like what's her nuts getting like an Oscar.
Well, it's going to be at this glitzy Beverly Hills ceremony hosted by John Travolta.
Now, I don't know. I'm not going to criticize John Travolta because I like John Travolta.
Yeah, he played Lenny Barbarino.
He did play Lenny Bob. Do you know who Lenny Barbarino is?
That was actually Vinny.
Vinny.
Vinny,
Doggone it.
You blew the bit.
You blew the bit, Weaver.
With the new bit should just be messing up the names.
Yeah, Lenny.
We should just
exactly what we should do.
The bit is evolving.
Like Fonzie Winkler.
Yeah, Fonzie Winkler.
How about
Arthur Winklerelli.
How about Carol Bunker, which is 4209? We could just do this all day. Dan's
sure
kind of a
could.
rebel without a clue. Oh, Tom, I know. Man,
No, Brother Dan Mandis.
Man.
moving right along.
Tough crowd.
Let's see here. No, I wanted to do something else. So Harry's an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay, so let me ask you this.
All you have to do is look at Meghan Markle. Yeah, he's an idiot.
Well,
Goodness.
he was an idiot for...
Marrying her.
Yes, thank you, Johnny. We'll just leave it at that. All the guys know what we're talking about. Anyway, hey, have you heard the hard-hitting interview between Mika Brzezinski and, speaking of screwing up names, and Joe Biden?
Have I ever?
Have you heard? Did you play audio on this? All?
No, I haven't played it yet. I got it
Okay.
for today, though. But
I'm gonna do it now.
It's a banger.
I pulled about 3 or 4 audio bites, and this is really hard-hitting questions like this one.
How have you been coping personally with the onslaught of accusations against your husband and your family, including and especially Hunter, as the focus of a House Oversight Committee hearing, holding him in contempt, obsessing over him, showing pictures of him during vulnerable moments in his battle with addiction
Horrible.
on the floor of the House? This would crush any family.
I like it. Oh, they did that on the floor of the House. Can you believe that? It's like, do you remember what Democrat staffers were doing on the committee floors?
Oh, yes. And here's the thing, is that, first of all, this was not really a news interview. Megyn Kelly, you hear what Megyn Kelly said about this whole thing?
No.
She said, do your blanking job to Mika Brzezinski. But see, here, how does she say her name?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. So, but here's
Crazy Mika, right? Isn't that what Trump used to call her on Twitter?
So, but here's the thing. This was not a news interview. This was, as I, like to say, narrative peddling, because there wasn't any hard-hitting questions about, put all that in context. Why has Hunter been under investigation? Talk about that. Why has he been, subpoenaed by Congress? All of those things were, as far as I can tell, uncovered. This is, by the way, how Jill Biden answered that question.
Mika, I think what they are doing to Hunter is cruel. And I'm really proud of how Hunter has rebuilt his life.
Right.
Yeah. On the backs of his father's influence, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. And the one of the other things that I said earlier was, okay, so Hunter himself made the decision to go to where they were having that congressional hearing, where he was then, verbally accosted by Nancy Mace and the blonde. Help me. Georgia.
Oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. And he made that decision, and he is the one that just basically walked into the nest. And so one, it's hard to feel sorry for him, but two, this was such a vapid lack of context, lack of any concrete information. One of the worst interviews I've ever heard.
Well, and then there's rumors that a Netflix documentary crew has been following him around for months, and then he flies commercial back to California.
Oh, please. Yeah, I saw that.
Like, what are you doing?
Now, well, first of all, they say it's a documentary, and as I said yesterday, if it's not a documentary, it's a reality show.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden is a walking reality show. Now, who would watch a reality show with Hunter? Can I just be honest? I think I might actually watch that.
If it was real, if it actually had footage of him smoking crack, driving 172 miles per hour through a residential neighborhood in a car that another government bought him, I'd be in.
And spanking a hooker. Yeah.
Right,
watch.
Let's go here.
What do you think when you hear Trump Republicans calling it the Biden crime family? Or I have one congresswoman, the Biden crime family sold out America, Marjorie Taylor Greene. He's a liar. He's mentally incompetent. And let's not even talk about what Let's Go Brandon means, but you have U.S. senators holding signs that say that.
Let's Go Brandon also is the most organic meme that ever happened. The Republicans had nothing to do with it.
No, that was all on, that reporter.
The NASCAR sideline reporter.
And then all of a sudden you've got all of these at college football games. Let's go, Brandon. I must have had one of the funnest days that I've ever had on the radio after that one day when all across America they were chanting, Let's go, Brandon. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
So it was just a silly interview. And Mika, for whatever reason, they think that this kind of an interview is going to have any kind of credibility whatsoever.
Well, and Joe Biden is out there basically running PR for the president because he can't do an interview like that that's a softball on his own because of his mental faculties.
Now, I pulled a bunch of clips, but was there even a conversation about Joe's lack of mental acuity?
I know at one point she asked about his age.
But see,
and she said that's an asset. He has wisdom.
Well, I've got that. Yeah, and here's the funny thing is everybody's sort of tiptoeing around the mental acuity question by just saying, what about his age? It's like, no, what about his senility?
Yeah.
Duh. Trump is, I don't know how many years younger than Biden, but Trump has all of his faculties.
Yeah.
So, hey, who do you think's going to win Iowa, Chris?
I'm looking. I think Nikki Haley's going to run away.
Yeah.
No, actually, she's going to run away. Just
that was good.
Yeah.
Actually, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. I actually had some fun with the super text line earlier because I actually asked a question in Iowa because it's the caucuses. So, which candidate has the most passionate supporters, Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump that would risk life and limb and frostbite to go attend a caucus.
Oh.
And I asked it sort of, stupidly, because I know the answer. Everybody knows the answer. All these people start, hammering the super text line, calling me a dumb A because I asked the question. Obviously, I know that it's Donald Trump.
And I heard another thing that you said, which was, they're assuming that DeSantis support will go to Nikki Haley if he drops out. I got to be honest with you. I go back and forth with DeSantis bros all the time because he's obviously my favorite candidate in heels and
magic shoes
and fancy shoes,
fancy shoes,
old fancy pants. But every single one of them tells me if it's not DeSantis, it's Trump. I've not heard anybody say if it's not DeSantis, it's Haley.
No one has said that. So, did you say DeSantis bros? Is that what you said?
Did I say DeSantis bros?
Yeah, you said I've been going back and forth with DeSantis bros.
Yeah.
Is that what you call them? DeSantis bros?
Yeah, everybody's a bro.
I don't think that, and I don't believe, because I was talking to Brian about this earlier too, which is I don't think that if DeSantis drops, I don't think that they're automatically going to go to Haley. I think that there's some DeSantis people that would say, well, screw it, I'll vote for Trump.
Well, and then did you see the latest polls? I forget who put it out. I have the article, and I'm going to read it on my show, but it's in the only thing that Nikki Haley supporters have been hanging on is that in a national head-to-head, she'd beat Biden. Well, there's new polling out now that says she would lose to Biden by 2 points in a general election.
And that we had a couple of polls late last week that showed the same thing. So you know what this means? The more people are seeing of Nikki Haley, the less they support her.
She is completely fabricated. She doesn't seem like a real person.
No, is Nikki Haley real? Are we going to have Matt Google that later?
We will. We will. We'll save that for the show. It's an agenda-free Friday on the Chris Hand Show, so we like to get weird.